Hey everybody, Grunt Reviews. We're back in the studio. I've got another lovely cardboard box in my hand, and that means another unboxing and tabletop review. Guys, today we're going to be looking at the IWI Tavor X95. As always, guys, go down below, like, subscribe, share, drop a comment with your thoughts. And as always, I do have my Buy Me a Coffee link in the description, and we really do appreciate those of you who have chosen to support us. Helps us keep bringing you content, and let's get into it. All right, so without further ado, we will pop this bad boy open. As I've mentioned in previous videos, the cardboard box has essentially become the standard. Gone are the days of the nice case. So we get some basic egg crate foam. We have our X95 rifle in its grease bag. Get it pulled out of that there. We have the chamber flag that was removed by the shop. Shout out to Blackbrush. Thanks for having this thing in stock and at a good price. We do get, of course, a Gen 3 windowed magazine. Magpul still new in the package. We get our sight adjustment tool and our unlocking mechanism. We get two QD mounts, which is kind of nice. And then all of our paperwork. There's zipper pull. And Blackbush, this is the store I got it from, local store out in Sand Springs. I'll give them one more shout out there. And let's get the box out of the way and flip this thing over. We'll do this side first. There we go. Let's take a closer look. All right, so no secret here that I do enjoy bullpup rifles. Obviously, if you've seen my series on the MDRX, some of the bullpup shotguns and things of that nature, I do enjoy the bullpup rifle. What you end up getting is a full length, a 16-inch barrel. The X95's 5.56 223. But you get a full-size rifle in a very, very compact package. What a bullpup does is it allows you to obviously use all that unused space in the stock by moving the chamber back from essentially in front of your head to right next to your head, shrinking the overall length, making it more compact, easier to transition from target to target. So this is the second generation of the Tavor, if you will. They had the Tar-Sar first. Through various feedback, they made some adjustments, and the X95 came out a few years later. Big advantages, obviously, or big upgrades, if you will. They did improve the trigger over the original. They did move the charging handle just a little bit. The controls are laid out in a little bit more AR style, a little bit easier to use for those of you transitioning from the AR-15 platform. But overall, very solid, very compact little rifle. Starting at the front, muzzle device is a pretty standard A2 birdcage style muzzle device. This particular one does have a 16-inch barrel. These are available in, I believe, an 18-inch and possibly a 20-inch. I'd have to check on that one. That would be the California compliant version there, but 16 and 18 for sure. Moving up front, they do give you these nice little rail covers, nice little finger stop there, and they do give you a QD mount on the front and a QD mount on the rear, and that is ambidextrous on both sides. Rail covers are removable, so push down, slide off, and that reveals the pick rail down below. Let me get my finger on this there. So both sides are a mirror of each other, and then we do pick up our pick rail on the bottom. Something else that, spending a little bit of time playing with this thing that I have noticed that is kind of cool is, let's say you wanted to move your handguard up just a little bit. Maybe you got big paws, maybe you got a little bit longer arms. There we go. You're actually able to move your rail covers up just a little bit to give yourself a little bit more of a forward grip. These things are pretty solid. There's not a lot of flex there, so it does give you a little bit of adjustability in the, I'm going to call it the forward length of pull, but where you place your support hand. So is kind of well thought out. Only downside, and these rifles have been out for a few years, and the aftermarket does provide some support for it. But everything on here is PIC. There is no M-LOK option. There are a few companies that are doing replacements for these with M-LOK options. However, you kind of get into some additional money, obviously some time, some expense, some installation. So if you are looking for something with an M-LOK front end, plan on adding several hundred more dollars to your price range there. But overall, the Picatinny is very usable. However, PIC always does add a little bit of weight over M-LOK. Coming down the top, we do have a full-length rail here, and it does have iron sights built right into that top rail. So standard style peep sight on the front, or on the rear, excuse me. It does have an adjustable front. That adjustable front does have a tritium dot on it. So very similar if you have shot a Galil Ace. The Galil Ace is the same way. The only downside to this is there is not a tritium dot or tritium dots on the rear sight. So front sight very usable, and rear sight very usable during the day, and it is nice that it is built directly into the rifle as a backup, but would be nice if they had put some extra dots so you could use both front and rear at night. Those flip down out of the way. Same deal, you can run right over the top of them if you don't ever plan on using them. But for me, this is a platform that lends itself very well to a red dot. So I would definitely keep those as a backup. And depending on what backup irons you run, saves you about $120 purchase in the aftermarket there. Moving our way further back, so it does come from the factory with that Cutlass style handguard on it. They do offer, I believe they're $25 or $30. You can purchase a replacement grip with a more traditional style trigger guard on it, if that is more of your preference there. The magazine release is ambidextrous on both sides. It's located right in that traditional AR location. The safety as well for right-handed shooters is the AR style right there. It is a 90-degree safety. The grip does have some finger grooves on it. I actually like this upper groove as a finger stop, if you will, but it would have been nice if they had made this straight. I've got a little bit bigger paw, and this thing just doesn't have quite enough space to really get a comfortable grip with my hand. That kind of pokes me in the side of the finger. Still very usable, but would be nice, as we've seen Glock do, just to go to a smooth grip, and I'm good with the finger stop there. The takedown system for the front half of this, your lock and unlock is located on the right-hand side. So if you want to tear the thing all the way down, or you're doing a caliber exchange, this is how you access that. Ejection port, shell deflector. And I will rack this sucker back here. Bolt release is located in a, I'll say somewhat standard bullpup location there. But the bolt release, when you slide your new magazine in, very easy to access with your offhand to release that bolt and to get back on target, get back in the fight. Obviously, we've already talked about the QD. And then it does come with a nice, we'll see if we can see the squish, but it does have a nice squishy rubberized butt pad on it as well to help with recoil management for those that may be recoil sensitive per se in a 223 round. The takedown, pretty simple on this rifle. It's one pin right here. You press the butt pad forward, you knock this pin out, and you're able to pull it from the other side. The butt pad is hinged, it swings out of the way. Your carrier group and everything slides out of the back. You're able to do any maintenance you want to do there. You're able to run your bore snake and cleaning assemblies through the barrel to clean it out. Slide back in, push it in, knock the pin in. Very, very, very well thought out takedown system. Very easy, very serviceable in the field. Obviously with a lot of this coming from the Israeli Defense Forces and some of the things that those guys have to go through, you do want a weapon that can be serviced by anybody with minimal training, and they have done a very good job at that. Flipping around to the other side here, and this will be upside down on your screen now. We'll flip it around. Hopefully that's still centered there. So we do have a charging handle. It is not quite a true folding style charging handle, shall we say. It's hinged, which is what brings it back into your finger. And then you're able to rack it, and then it moves forward and actually, I'm going to say, locks into place. A little bit different than a traditional folding style, but very easy to use. And the nice thing about this as well is it keeps your finger well clear of the rail. Anybody who has fired a Steyr, AUG, or AUG, if you've, and I may still have a scar on my finger there, if you've ever tried to rack one of those fast with an optics on it, you find out real quick the level of roughness of a Picatinny rail on it. So it's nice that they do give you good room to get good purchase on that charging handle with or without gloves. The other thing I will discuss too is this is a mostly ambidextrous rifle. So the mag release, ambidextrous there. The safety, if I remember correctly, can be pulled out and you can change sides to make it ambidextrous. The charging port can be moved from side to side, so you can get a left or a right hand eject. Charging handle can be moved as well. With its central location, the bolt release obviously is ambidextrous there. About the only thing that is not truly ambi is going to be the takedown side of it, and you get one extra QD slot on the left-hand side that you do not get on the right-hand side. So once again, not a huge deal. You do still get two that are very much usable on both sides. You just pick up one extra for a right-handed shooter. All in all, very, very cool package. Now we will get into the trigger, and this is where the Tavor shows its age, shall we say. So I'm going to pull out my handy dandy Lyman digital trigger gauge, but first I want to give you an idea of how this trigger operates. So this is a two-stage trigger. So we have our first stage, and I believe they said that's right around 4.5 to 5 pounds. We start to hit our second stage. Turn the safety off. We have our first stage. We get through, we kind of hit a false wall in the second stage. You get a lot of stacking, a break. We have our bit of a long reset. And then we're back on that wall, lots of creep, break. We'll do one more reset here. And then all the way back up. So definitely a very long trigger. It is a military style two-stage trigger as well. It's pretty heavy, a lot of creep to it. This thing kind of harkens back to a lot of the original issues with bullpup triggers, where you are adding a bar essentially to the back, you're adding all that extra flex, you're adding some additional hinge points on that. I'll bring up Desert Tech as an example. Desert Tech has found a way around it and produced some fantastic triggers. Would be nice to see IWI do the same. There are definitely some aftermarket options for this. Geisley, or for those of you that can't pronounce it, Giselle, I hear that often enough. But Geisley makes one. I believe Shooting Sight has a drop-in pack as well too. So the aftermarket has caught up and has improved upon it. However, an overall design change would be handy for the, we'll call it the Gen 3. So let's weigh this trigger out here. All right, yeah. Let me get a good angle on her here. All right, first break, 6 pounds, 12.5 ounces. So not too far off of 7 pounds there. We'll reset this. £6 pounds, 5 ounces. And last pull. Yep, that one didn't quite get the full break. Let's try it one more time here. All right, last one, 6 pounds, 13 ounces. So does put us right in that 7 pounds, between 6.5 and 7 pounds there, and that may change a little bit with the course of fire there. All in all, I do like the package. Very last thing I'll mention before we wrap this up, the pick rail on the top is very, very low. Traditional AR style optics, depending on what it is, may or may not work. It just sits so low to that stock. So when you're selecting your optics, that height is something something to consider. There are some aftermarket companies that do some risers and some different rail systems with some different heights. But if you think you're just gonna grab an optic off of your AR and slap it on, just be aware that it may or may not work as desired, if you will. But guys, I do appreciate your time watching this. As always, stay safe, train hard.